change lives and truly advance healthcare? What's the best way to make a difference for people in need each and every day? It takes nurse leaders from all disciplines, from different walks of life, from all over the world, clinicians, educators, researchers, administrators, and more. But even with these leaders dedicated to the patients and the profession, there's only one way to write this story: together. Together, Sigma members change lives while developing and promoting excellence in nursing by sharing their skills, talent, and devotion to serve our larger cause. At Sigma, we stand together, improving healthcare for all people around the world. And we invite you to stand with us, distinguishing yourself among the leaders in nursing and sharing in the ideas and research that will help us continue to advance world health together.
Good evening, everyone. We will begin at 6:35. At 6:35. That's Eastern Standard Time, so that'll be 5:35 in Jamaica time. Alrighty, it's now 5:35 in Jamaica time, 6:35 in Eastern Standard Time. Good evening, everyone. My name is Alia Brown. I am the president of the Omega Kappa chapter of Sigma Theta Tau International Honor Society of Nursing. And it is a pleasure to have you all here this evening, for those that are here and those that will be logging on later on. We are continuing on with our retirement webinar series. This is part 2 of the retirement webinar series. And if you missed the first part, you can always email us, the chapter email, or even if you have my WhatsApp, or you are in the Omega Kappa chapter WhatsApp group, you can let me know and I can send the recording for you for part 1 of our retirement series that was recorded. So I can actually send that to you via WhatsApp or via email. I will place our chapter's email in the chat in case you need to get that part 1 from me, that recording from me. But with no further ado, we do have a special guest who will be presenting on financial planning for retirement. And his name is Mr. Javan Codlin. And Mr. Javan is a seasoned professional with over 6 years of experience as Sagicor Group Jamaica, where he has excelled in various roles and is currently employed as a revenue solutions officer. In this capacity, Javan provides comprehensive financial education to corporate Jamaica, demonstrating his deep commitment to financial literacy. He holds a bachelor's degree in education, specializing in computer and accounting, showcasing in computing and accounting, showing off his strong academic foundation. His dedication to professional development is further evidenced by his completion of a project management certification and the Caribbean Securities course, which have equipped him with the skills and knowledge to navigate the complexities of the financial sector. Mr. Javan Codlin is a strong believer in empowering others and is passionate about helping individuals become more financially savvy, ensuring they are prepared to make informed decisions for their future. And we all know that retirement planning should really start from you enter the workforce. So when you are coming down and about to retire and about to, step out of that workforce and go live your life doing whatever else you want to do, you would have been well prepared, well equipped to move into that aspect of your life. So with no further ado, we will welcome Mr. Javan Codling to present for us on financial planning for retirement. I'll unmute your mic right now. Okay, you can go ahead, Javan. Okay.
Yeah. Good evening and thank you, Aliyah, if I pronounced it correctly.
Yes, sir.
I want to say good evening to everyone. It's a pleasure to be here with you today as we dive into the topic. Retirement planning is a topic that is always left for later down, but it is very crucial for your future. I want to extend a warm welcome to all the nursing students who have joined from across the Caribbean, that is. You have chosen a noble profession, and that makes profound difference in people's life. And today, I want to do my part while focusing on the financial aspect of things. As we embark on this journey, I want it to be a conversation. If you have any question, please feel free to raise your hand or put it in the chat where we can respond to those questions accordingly. I should take no less or no more than 20 minutes, if so long. So I'll be very short in my presentation. However, it is equally important that we take note of what we discussed today. Just as your dedication to the nursing career, this is very important to your future as we explore strategies and consideration that will help build and secure the future, no matter where you are in the Caribbean or where your career takes you. Thank you for being here. And with that said, let's get started. Aliyah, is it okay? I tried sharing my screen.
Go ahead again.
Let me try again. Okay, good. Here you go. Right. Home slideshow. Beginning. Okay. All right. Are you seeing my screen?
Yes, I can see it.
And you're seeing the presentation?
Yes.
All right. Just let me fix this quickly here. Just want to ensure that duplicate. Why am I not? Okay. All right. Please move your windows away from the shared screen. Oh, moving too fast. I don't know why. Okay, so retirement planning. And as I said, I want everyone, where's that coming from? Right. Yes, give me about a minute or less trying to figure out the issue here. I apologize for the wait.
No problem.
Thanks. So, technical difficulties, technology happening at its best. I apologize though, regardless. I will now go into the presentation. There is so retirement planning. I hope that everyone's seen what I'm seeing here. Retirement planning. So we're ready to go. All right, thank you very much. So retirement planning, when you hear the term retirement, what comes to mind? Anybody? Quick. Retirement, retired. What is the first thing that jump out at you? Nobody?
Participants, you can unmute your mics.
Nobody?
Someone in the chat said freedom,
Freedom.
old age.
I don't like the old age. I like the freedom. I like the freedom. And it is the reality. After dedication of services, continuous work over the years, one of the important things that you rightfully state that you want to have is freedom. And when you think freedom, you must also think peace of mind. On my screen, I have the term circle of life, and I'm gonna ask for your assistant. I want to illustrate a financial circle of our lives, right? If you're able, I'm gonna ask everyone if you have access to a sheet of paper or a pen or a pencil. That we just get this quick out of the presentation, and I want for you to illustrate something on a blank sheet of paper as quickly as possible. I apologize for the short hiccups that we have. However, we're going to go right into the presentation and make it spicy and nice. All right. So if you're able, I want for you to find a sheet of paper. And on that sheet of paper, I want for you to draw a circle. Draw a circle if you're able to. And with that circle, I want for you to divide it into 4 quadrants. Are you able to do that? Then I want for you to put some numbers on that circle now. So starting at the top of your circle, let me put my circle here. Yes. So first you're gonna have your circle, divide it into 2 halves, then 4 quadrants. And at the top of your circle, I want for you to put the number 0. So it's gonna be 0, 20, 20 to 40, 40 to 60, and 60 to 80. Everyone is following? Let me know, Alia. They're going to represent the team now from you. Thank you. Because you're the only one talking. Following?
I've done that.
All right. So everyone has completed that. All right. So between the age of 0 to 20, most of us, right? And I say most of us because some person might be working and some might not. So majority of us might not be earning an income at that time. So I want you to shade that section from 0 to 20, similar to what is being displayed on your screen. And from the ages of 60 to 80, which represents a retirement phase, you can go ahead and shade that section as well. All right, completed? I wanted to unmute and talk.
Completed.
Completed. So what you have shaded, pretty much the sections that you have shaded, entire represent a new income stage in our life. Now, I want for you to find this stage, your age, on this circle, and draw a line from that age to the center of to the age of retirement. So wherever you are on this, I will be 33. So from 33 to 60, I want for you to draw a line from there. And that represents your contribution to retirement. So from 33, I would have started earning an income. And I started contributing to my pension plan. And from there, go again. You seen it? Everybody seen it?
Which line?
No, it's not coming up. There's a delay.
Okay. All right.
Okay, we see it now.
Oh, you've seen it now. All right. So I am at 33 to 60. So from there, I want for you to find your age and draw your line accordingly. And the line represents, as I said, this line represents Jovan at 33. And what it means is that I have from here to achieve all my financial goals. Accumulate some assets, set aside emergency fund, adequately plan towards my retirement years. And I don't know about you, but I want to retire, somebody said, comfortably and in style. All right? So you realize that the time calculated from there, if some of us start at 40, you realize that we have very little time, because if you start at 40, you will have about 20 years to do prepare for your retirement. So we want to ensure that we start now. The best time, if you have not started from then, is now. How do you want to retire? I want 3 bright persons. Just tell me, how do you want to retire? Anybody?
Debt free.
Debt free. That is one. I love that. 2 more. What else? All right. So stress free, debt free, comfortably, and relaxing. So in order for us to retire debt free, stress free, and comfortably, we have to ensure that we put in the plans. So retirement planning helps you to maintain your current standard of living in retirement. Your pensions help you to maintain the standard of living in retirement. However, investing is very important, right? So as we move, we want to consider the reality, and all of the conversation that we'll be having on this meeting, it really comes down to the reality. There are important realities that we must consider as we consider retirement. And one of those reality is that you cannot work forever. Let me see the hands in the chat of those who want to continue working after the age of 60. Raise your hand or say it in the chat. As I thought, nobody wants to continue to work after retirement. So as a result of that, we have to ensure that we contribute what is important. One of the most important things is that we want to contribute enough so we can continue maintaining our healthcare. Healthcare is very important and very expensive, if you ask me. Long-term care is very expensive, and an estimate 4 out of every 10 person turning 65 while planning ahead will end up either at a nursing home at some point, and some may need home care or related services. Now, if we retire, I want to ensure that you're seeing me. If we retire without making the necessary plan for healthcare, are we going to retire stress-free or debt-free? Yes or no? I hear somebody from the back said no. So if we don't make the plans for healthcare, we're not going to retire stress-free. So we have to ensure that we consider that important aspect. All right. The next aspect that we have to consider, hold on, let me just, is the lifespan is increasing. So we would have lived until said 70, as the Bible good book predicts it. Some person are living beyond 90, 95. And what happened? When we live beyond those age, we don't want to become a burden to anyone. So we have to ensure that we put the plans in place. Another problem that we have battling is that every day the purchasing power falls. So inflation reduces your purchasing power. So we have to ensure that we are edging against whatsoever we are putting up for retirement. Are you following? All right. Just take a few things from the chat. Now, I see Daisy said, no retirement age in some profession is 65. In Trinidad and Tobago, we have a BLI of 5 years. So, Daisy, you have a BLI. So, and specifically, I'm speaking to Jamaica as it relates to the age 65. And thanks for pointing that out, Daisy. So we want to ensure that with the respective country that you're in, these principles and strategies still applies. All right. So we're moving on. Saving for your retirement. How do you do that? Can I save for my retirement? It is up to you. What is important to remember for retirement, saving is up to you. And I'm going to stress it again. If you're going to retire, when you decide how you want to retire, where will your retirement income come from? And what is important is that you have to make sure you make it a priority in order for those savings to occur. One big question is, where will your retirement income come from? A lot of person is going to say, I contribute to your respective country a pension plan. And that alone cannot suffice the lifestyle that we have to live after retirement. When we after working, when we retire, if we were earning an income, when we retire, that income, if we don't put in the right strategies, we won't be earning an income from anything outside of your regular pension plan. So we want to ensure that we save and we put outside of your formal pension plan, we want to ensure that we put some personal investment aside. The state benefits for here in Jamaica, we have the NIS and the NHD who actually give us a check. And we say a check of what? It covers a small portion of post-retirement income, but it won't be enough to actually give us that lifestyle that we want. All right. So we are here. Go ahead. Sorry. Go ahead. Hello.
That probably was an error.
Oh, that was an error. So proper retirement planning includes the following: discipline and consistent money management practice. And when you realize that you are disciplined in money management practices, it identify a lot of areas that you can actually save from. This is how you distribute your income, what you do with your money. Let me see the hands, or if anyone in the chat can tell me when last you did a budget. I believe that I want you to move to the front of the class. When last anyone in the chat did a budget to actually identify areas on which they can save and where they should cut back on spending and what to spend on accordingly. Desmond, you're raising your hand to ask a question, Desmond, or you're saying you have done it? Alia, you have done a budget recently.
Yep.
I have done it.
You have done it.
Every month.
I want to congratulate you, Desmond, and Alia. I want to give you a round of applause also, because what you're saying then is that you actually identify the areas and you're going to be consistent and disciplined in those areas. And I want to give you thanks for that emoji. And then we must maximize our contribution. We must maximize our contribution to the pension plan. Example, if it is 20%, ensure that you maximize the 20%. And why general studies shows that the formal pension plan only covers 75% of a person's retirement expense. So where the other 25% comes from? Because remember, oh my goodness. So if it is, let me just fix this here. If it is, you want to hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
And you see me as well, right?
Yes.
All right. So if it is that the general pension plan only covers 75% of your retirement, which bright person can tell me where the other 25% comes from? See, who said that? Who said that? No, it's not all. It's one person said it, and I want to give that person a round of applause. Who said it? You said
Joanne Oliver.
Joanne Oliver. Sorry. Thank you very much. So you realize now that it is important that you have to save, and that saving is where the 20%, the 25% comes in. So 75%, and you maximize your full percentage of your contribution, and you realize that now, you know that the 20%, as I said, most years you give 20%, and the studies is saying that it only covers the 75%. So what it says then, that I need to invest, I need to save. Therefore, it is important to look at other avenues to supplement your retirement income. Some of those are like real estate, business, investing in stocks, It's a process of acquiring and managing you. Wait, screen is not moving. Sorry. There you go. Establishing supplemental retirement income. And I said, some of those are, some person will say, I have real estate. Some person will say, I have this stock. Some person will tell you that, oh, yes, I have bought into this business and it's for my retirement. So you have to ensure that you supplement your retirement, right? So the elements of money management, and one of those elements I asked earlier, just clearing the screen so you can see it clear. Yes, so we want to look at some of the elements of money management, and one of those I asked earlier, Desmond and Aliyah really stood out and said, yes, I did a budget recently. So we want to look at them in a quick alphabet. So budgeting, and budgeting is the foundation of any money management. So if you don't budget, you won't know what to save, you won't know what you're spending, and as a result of that, you can't save. Because if it is that you don't know what you're spending and you don't know what you're earning, you don't know what your income or your expenses are, then you don't know what you can save. So budgeting is very important. And then from budget comes savings. And we're going to follow the line. From saving is where you can invest, make your money work for you. And then from saving, you become a savvy spender. Spend more on the things that will increase your net worth. All right? So the contributing the maximum to your pension plan, pension arrangement have several advantages. One of those is income replacement at retirement. So I'm encouraging you, whichever country you're in, ensure that you contribute to your pension and do the maximum contribution if possible. Then it gives you tax relief. In order to encourage pension scheme, the government in Jamaica, I'm not sure about the other Caribbean countries, provide a tax relief on the contribution made to pension scheme, the growth in their investment. So as a result, it encourages individual to maximize. So the more you take out before that tax comes on your pay or your salary, you realize that you're saving more and you're edging against inflation and all of that. Disability payout. If you're permanently disabled prior to retirement, your pension benefit will be paid under the terms of the contract. And as I said, most of these are specifically to Jamaica, but I don't think they're foreign to the respective countries. Also, death payout to dependent. So the question, one of the questions I see somebody over there asking. So in the event that I am contributing to the pension and I am now a deceased, what happened to my pension? The pension payment is paid out to the dependent. So if you're a member and you're contributing to a pension and you list on your dependents, what your husband, spouse in that case, or wife in that case, or your children, whoever the dependent is, and you should become deceased, then it is paid out to the dependent. All right? So you don't need to say that the government is going to take away your money to be paid out. Supplemental retirement investment. What are supplemental retirement investment? These are additional savings or investment put aside specifically. So it doesn't make sense to say you're putting this investment plan, you're taking out the investment plan for retirement, and before you reach the age of 50, you're utilizing it for something else. So the shortfall that you might end up having, which is the 25% shortfall, because as I said, in Jamaica, the government covers 75%. So that 25%, we have to ensure that we have the supplemental investment, and that is outside of the formal pension plan that might be administered within your respective country. So we have to ensure that we take care of that. All right. So example here, we have the stocks, unit trust, a business, real estate, as we have listed them before. At Savicor Group Jamaica, to help supplement retirement income, These are some of our products. So we have the Sigma funds, we have the stocks, we have Sagicor accumulator, and these are some of the Jamaican products that is used to supplement retirement. Jamaican stock market increased more than 160% between January 2016 to 2020. That outpaced any investment vehicle for that period. So there are things that there are instruments that can be used to ensure that you have that 20% to balance. As I said, specifically for Jamaica, you balance that retirement plan that you would have taken up. All right. We have the guaranteed investor. We have the equity multiplier. And these, the guaranteed investor, you start with a lump sum, the compound interest. It's calculated in compound interest. Interest can be withdrawn each quarter or reinvest. It has a tax-free component after 5 years. No limit to the maximum that can be contributed. So these are some of the things that are encouraging individuals to actually invest towards that shortfall of the 25% in your retirement. You have the equity multiplier, equity-based funds. It can be you can add investment on it as well. The minimum to open is about 50,000 JND. No maximum contribution if you can prove your source of fund, and no penalty if it is that you want to borrow against this fund. But I'm here to put up a stop against you putting out plans for your investment, for your retirement, and then want to use them at an earlier stage. If it's an emergency, then fine. But I want to encourage individuals to ensure that when you make these plans to add to the supplemental of your retirement, you keep that commitment. We're talking about dedication, we're talking about consistency. All right. What to do as your retirement draws near. Anybody can tell me, what do you do when it is getting closer to that retirement age? Daisy, what do you do? Daisy is not here. Alia, you want to tell me what you do?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, so go ahead. Go ahead, Daisy.
Hi, afternoon, everybody. As it is, I'm already retired.
Okay.
3 years ago.
We want everybody to give you a clap. Everybody, a clap emoji to Daisy.
Yes,
Go
after
ahead, Daisy.
46 years of working. So
Congratulations. That is monumental. That is very good.
I just want to say I started at 35 to actually do the investment with the annuity plan and those kinds of things. So that's when I started, and I'm happy to say that I started with Sagicor in Trinidad.
Very good.
Yeah, we did the other stuff. And then to have Corinne Bellamy is my daughter, so then to have her working at Sagicor. So we've had a good relationship with their company, and I have had a comfortable, let me say, a comfortable retirement so far.
You say you relax, man. You're stress-free.
Yeah.
Thank you very much,
Yeah.
Daisy. And guys, just like Daisy, we want to ensure that when we retire, she talk comfortable. She sounds stress-free and relaxed. And that's where we want to get. And I like how she says that she has a relationship with Sagicor Group in Trinidad, and she has started investing at what age? Anybody? Quick. 35. So the earlier you start, and the best time from then is now. So the first and one of the most important steps to retirement is to find out when your pension provider, find out from your pension provider what your total pension fund will look like, as well as your monthly income stream. It's a lot of person don't know where they get it from, but they believe that they have worked 50 odd years and they're supposed to get X, and when they actually get what the payout is, they're like, I never know this, I never know that. So have the conversation with your provider. Here at Sagicor, we have the pensions department who actually manage, and we can always call and have this conversation via email. You can send your email to get an update on what your pension portfolios look like. All right, so you have that access here at Sagicor. Sagicor, we provide excellent customer service, so you can always reach out to us and we'll provide information as required. So you get an estimate of how much your monthly pension will be, and the important thing, create a budget. And when you create that budget, you have to review the budget. In addition to that, as you know, for those who may not, when we get to a certain age, we are likely to develop medical condition. It's not because we eat certain food, it is human nature that at certain age, we're going to start feeling pain. We're going to need some medical attention. So our medical expenses tend to get higher because of our age. So must explore which health plans are available for retirees. As a matter of fact, studies have shown that at least 25% of retiree pension fund goes towards their medical expense. So you understand why it is important that you invest, because maybe it's from that 25% you're actually going to have something to actually live on. Because if the 75%, as the study shows here, it's not me, not Sagicor, says 25% of retirees pension fund goes towards medical expense. So we need something to supplement that. Get an estimate of the lump sum amount you will receive at retirement. As I said, here, Sagicor, you can send an email, you can make your calls, and we provide those information. Assess the total debt you have outstanding. We want to retire debt-free. So we have to ensure that we have an understanding of what we owe. People, we don't want to walk on the road and people are saying, what? You know, say John Brown, stop work on him, woman, XYZ. I don't want the bank or any other institution to come bothering you. Start discussing investment option for your lump sum payout. All right. So these are some of the conversation we must have as our retirement journey here. Ladies and gentlemen, if you have not started planning for retirement, the next best time is now. If you take up that sheet of paper that I started the exercise with at the beginning of the session, and I said to draw that circle, divide it into 2 halves and then 4 quadrants, and then you realize where you are now and where you should be and where you're going to be, you realize that in order to ensure that you can live stress-free like Daisy, you have to start planning. Make sure that you supplement that retirement plan. 75% is guaranteed here in Jamaica from the pension plan, and then the 25% we must seek investment options to ensure that we supplement what is being offered to us. Your journey to happy retirement. Speak to an advisor. Here at Sagicor Group, we have financial advisors who are trained professionals who have the knowledge to actually have the discussion with you and to ensure that you are prepared. So when it comes to retirement, you don't start looking around. I want to thank you very much for having me, and thank you for understanding little technical difficulties, but our conversation was worthwhile. Thank you very much. Your journey to happy retirement starts now if you have not started. Thank you. I'm Jovan Codlin. Over to you, Alia and team. Thank you. Have a great evening.
Thank you, Jovan, so much for that very informative presentation. So I will open the floor for questions, question and answer period now. You can unmute your mic. Raise your hand first, so you can unmute your mic to ask Jovan any questions that you may have for him as it relates to financial planning. Althea, you have a question? Hold on, Jovan. I think your mic is muted. Give me 1 minute. Oh, you can unmute your mic.
I did such a good job.
Well, I have a question. For us who live in different countries, I live in the Bahamas. You talked about investments. Would persons from different, say we wanted to make investments in Sagicor, but I live in the Bahamas, how would that work? Does that work? If can it work?
It you hear me?
Yes, I can hear.
Yeah, man, it can work. And how it works is that I will drop in the chat, if you allow me, I'm gonna send a
Go ahead.
link
Uh-huh.
to a jot form that anyone can complete to have a financial conversation with any one of our trained financial representative. And
Okay.
they will explain in depth in terms of all the options that we have here and how you can stay in another country and access these investment instruments. So I'm gonna put in the chat or send it to you and you put it in the chat if I'm not able to do so. And
Okay. Or you can
individuals.
send it to our chapter's email, the same email that we've been communicating.
Oh, okay. So send it to the email. All right, no
Yes.
problem. And then
But
once
for
you
those
complete,
persons who may not be on our email, you could drop it in the chat as well for those
Yeah.
persons who are
So
not
I'm-
members.
so once you complete that jot form, it comes to us, and then the respective professional will take the information, reach out to you via email, via phone,
Mhm.
and then they will have the conversation to see what your options are and how you can start accessing our investment instruments here at Sagicor Jamaica. So
Okay.
it is possible.
All right. I think I started working, really working after I graduated nursing school. So that would have been at age probably 23. So I've been working since then because our retirement age also for public service is 65. Some government, I mean, some private institution may 65, maybe 60, depending on where you work. But for the most part, in our public sector, government sector, our age of retirement is 65.
So Alia, you're the better one. You're well prepared. To
Well,
see.
I didn't start because I mean, I was working for government for about 8, 9 years, but I work privately now. So I didn't really start. I wanted a separate pension plan because I feel like a lot of persons believe that once they're in government, they're so secure. Once I am permanent and pensionable, I can get this pension once I retire. So that was the mindset of a lot of persons. But now, when I think about it, I was like, I can go do my own pension plan. I don't have to work for government to get a pension plan. I'll get their pension plan. I have my pension plan. So I didn't really start my pension plan until I was actually like in my late 20s. I sure I wasn't over 30. So I am now at 33, about to be 34. So I have just recently started my pension plan really strong. So I actually have a pension plan outside of my work.
Outside of your work.
Yeah.
And you and do you have investments?
Not really. I want to. I have a couple things on the agenda. Just need to clear up some other stuff, which is the reason why I needed to do my budgeting to see what my expenses are. Because I spend a lot of money on food. My budget for food got to be over $100 a week. I spend over $100 a week on food because I don't like to cook. So I know that either I can cook or I ain't cooking. I ain't cooking, so I need to budget that.
Yeah.
Money for that alone needs to be out there.
All right. I don't want to cut you earlier. I see 2 questions here. Desmond asked in the chat, how can we contact an advisor? I've placed in the chat here the jot form link. Latoya also has placed it, who's on the call. You can click on the link and it carries you to that information, is an information collector. Once you complete that form, then it will come to us, and I said, a financial representative will contact you. And there's another question here from Alicia Farquharson. She asks, how should I plan for additional expense in retirement? And Alicia, you may not be able to plan for the additional expense. What you can plan for is to edge against those expenses. So this is where your investment comes in. This is where you make plans for any eventualities that happen, any out of the planned expenses, because you're going to plan to eat, you're going to plan to, if you need to, gas and motor vehicle expense and all of those expenses, they will continue. But outside of those regular expenses, the additional expense that might arise, if you start investing, which is your supplemental investment for the retirement, you will be able to manage any, or if not, any expense that should come outside of those regular expense that you have. So you, as you ask, how can I plan for the additional expense? Is to start investing early. Start investing now. Oh, it wasn't a question. Oh, sorry. You're most welcome, Alicia. All right, thank you, Alia. I think I answered 1, 2, 3. Yes, those questions. And anyone, any more questions in the chat? You can unmute. And thank you.
What are
Thank you.
some, Javon, what are some investments you would probably advise persons to go into? Because I know some investments can be risky, some are low risk, high risk, medium risk. Yeah, what would be your suggestions?
Yes, and I would not give an advice, and the reason why I would have to do a risk appetite in terms of a risk assessment to know. You can tell me, oh yeah, man, I love risk. I love the expect. I can expect to lose this amount, and I can expect to lose. No, we at Sagicor ensure that we do a detailed assessment of each applicant. Whenever you're interested, whenever you say you're interested in investment, we do a risk analysis of what your risk appetite is, what stage you're at in terms of wanting to invest. If you're at the age of say 60, and you're going to tell me that, oh yeah, man, I'm open to high risk investment. Here, the financial professional will tell you that at 60, it should be really not going that high risk in investment. You should be doing at the medium to no risk. So I cannot tell you to go and take out a plan, say a Sage Gold or equity. It will be based on your assessment, and that's what we are using the JOT forms to do. The JOT forms allow us to do an assessment of what your risk appetite is and what you're able to participate in based on the assessment of your budget as well, because I don't want you to take all your money and put it into an instrument and then you say, oh my, look what I did. And then you said, well, a conversation that I had with Mr. Codlin, he said that to take out the equity multiplier. And when the equity multiplier fail, you'll be like, oh, I need to find Mr. Codlin in Jamaica. So I don't want to give that information for that particular reason. Once we can do an assessment of what your risk appetite is based on what the questions that we'll be asking you, then from there we can give you a list of instruments that we would suggest that will work best for you. So I'm gonna encourage you to use the JOT form, fill out those information, and then from there we'll have the conversation. Lisa says, my fear is having enough money is, I think she wants to say, not having enough money for retirement, especially when you're used to a certain lifestyle, but definitely taking your advice with investment. You're most welcome, Alisa. As I said, the best way to hedge against it is to invest, and inflation is not one that we can really control. So every day the purchasing power depreciates, so we have to ensure that we hedge against inflation by investing, and that's the only way we actually can hedge against inflation. All right, so as I said earlier, I would readily tell you that take this instrument and take that instrument, but here at Sagicor we want to do an holistic assessment of the individual before we make any suggestion of what our plans are. So once you complete that JOT form, I guarantee you within the time of you completing it, then we get somebody readily to make contact with you and say, these are some of the questions that we ask. And then from there, they will give you a suggestion and you can start right away.
Also, Javon, thank you so much for your answer. Also, Javon, I think a lot of people work on up to retirement and beyond retirement because of mortgage. What is your take on that? Because a lot of people buy their homes and really trying to pay off their mortgage.
I'm gonna ask my learned friend D Wright. Are you here?
Yes, I am. Can you repeat the question?
Oh, I was talking about persons. Usually, by the time they reach retirement, we notice that a lot of persons still work beyond that 60, 65 age because they want to pay off their mortgage. So, what would be your advice for persons who have a mortgage, trying to pay off their mortgage? Because, that's what most persons would be trying to do at that particular age, trying to make sure that's straight.
Yeah. And I'm happy you brought up that point because that's usually one of the main obstacles, especially for persons, who are homeowners. And I mean, having a home, there are several, benefits of that, especially at retirement. I mean, you're not worried about paying rent if it is that you don't own your own home. And I heard you mention earlier that you spend $100 on food each week. And you need to see how you can, reallocate funds. And when you mentioned about $100, I mean, we here in Jamaica, I was saying to myself, boy, if only my grocery bill was $100. But we know the differences in the currency, right? But when you are a part of a formal pension plan, and I know there's a case where you receive a lump sum payment, or you have the option to take a lump sum payment, and I think it's about 20% lump sum payment. Some persons, if they know they have outstanding, and Jovan allude to it, I mean, you don't want to go into retirement in debt. You have the mortgage, it's almost finished, paid off. Sometimes it makes sense to just, try and clear that, because the last thing you also want to do is to get stuck with a mortgage balance, and then, for whatever financial crisis happen and interest rates starts to rise, and I realize that, I was supposed to finish pay this in 5 months or in 3 months, but then because interest rates are surging now, I mean, the payment is a little bit longer. So you find that, I mean, that's one of the things that we advise, if you can, that lump sum payment, if you have any kind of mortgage payment that is outstanding, it could be used to reduce that substantially, because remember that the income, as was discussed in the presentation, that it will only replace about 75%, and so having that mortgage to pay from that amount of money could make retirement not as rosy as my friend who said that she was in retirement. I can't remember her name.
Daisy.
You see, I use the word Rosie and Daisy, so it makes sense. So we want to be like Daisy, but as I said, I've seen cases where persons close to retirement, they have some more mortgage payments, and once in retirement and getting the income that that 75%, income that they would get at retirement, it makes it very, very difficult. So the advice is that, if you find that you are close to retirement, you need to find out what the payments are, because as Jovan mentioned, you cannot approach retirement casually. We get up and, we celebrate each year, I'm 56 today, I'm 57. Especially as you get closer to retirement, you want to know, as Jovan mentioned, what's your fund will look like, what's your retirement fund is like, what your monthly income is like. And once you know those stuff, you can start from early, to go to your bank, your mortgage bank, the bank where you have your mortgage, to see how is it that this debt, because ultimately that's what it really is at that point. It's something that you owe, that you want to pay off to retain the asset. So how is it that this debt, quote unquote, can be retired before you retire? Because it's going to get much tougher having to be paying a mortgage. And we talk about the medical bills. Here, Jovan mentioned about 25%. A mortgage is the last thing, you want to have, unless it's a case where you have a real estate that is so large enough that you're able to even create income from it. Because I've seen where that happened, you have your house, kids them gone, you have the space. You can turn that into rentable space, right? And so the income that you're getting from that, you know, can also be used to even further pay the mortgage or pay off the mortgage much quicker. And also you'll have additional income that can be used to supplement your daily, you know, expenditure once you have reached retirement. So I think I really support a lot of what Javon mentioned, that your retirement plan, it has to be deliberate, right? And the mortgage is a good thing to have. I mean, you don't want to be paying rent. Hopefully, we're not paying rent in retirement, because rental income or rental expense in this case, it can absorb all of that money. So as much as possible before we reach retirement, let us look at that and to see, okay, when is it that this loan can be retired? Is it that we can, you know, make a lot more payment now while we're working to kind of bring it down? Because, you know, waiting until the last minute may really put you in some deep waters. All right. I don't know if that
Thank-
answers your
Thank you,
question.
Mr. Wright.
Yeah, so the right is
Yeah,
the manager.
I'm the manager of the pension
Manager of
investment
pension
and the
investment, so
executive
he has
plan.
all that depth of knowledge there.
All right.
All right.
If there aren't any more questions for Mr. Javon, we will.
I also want to,
Oh, go ahead.
just because it's a retirement planning session, I also wanted to touch, and I know we've talked a lot about supplemental income and, you know, looking a lot of on investment, you know, and I would ask a question and answer it myself. You know, what about those of us who might not be in a position to invest, you know, because I know, you know, working in investment, sometimes when they say put down a $10,000 and a $5,000, and then especially that is when leading up to retirement. But what happens when you are at retirement and you didn't manage to have that kind of supplemental investment? What is there to do to supplement that retirement income that you're getting? And oftentimes when I do certain membership sessions, we forget about entrepreneurship. And I remind people that entrepreneurship is one of the one of the most steady form of income, and not just income. I mean, it, you know, unlike a pension income that remains the same, where you're getting the same amount of money and then you're being robbed by inflation, the purchasing power. I'm a teacher too. I teach economics and financial management. And I oftentimes tell my student that the older you live, the poorer you get, especially when you reach retirement. The longer you live after retirement, you're dying as a poor soul every time. Why? Because retirement income or pension income is fixed income. And that income is going to be eroded by inflation. And so one of the supplemental income that I oftentimes advise persons is that you're going to have to use those skills that you have. I mean, I'm grateful that I'm a teacher. So definitely, I am looking that, you know, towards retirement, that I can still, right now I do my own classes online, even though I work full-time Sagicor in the evening, I'm able to, you know, teach economics, financial management. I'm sure when I get even older, I'll be even more wiser, hopefully a better teacher, just a little bit more miserable. But, you know, the opportunity is there to earn. And persons might say, okay, Mr. Wright, that's you, you're a teacher, you might be able to do that. But I'm saying that I've seen persons at retirement, you know, have certain skills, whether it be baking, you know, sewing, some of those talents that you have that you can see how best you can monetize them. So it's not always that we'll be able to, well, we want you to be able to invest, you know, and planning for that time. But I'm saying, what happens if it doesn't work out, or if you're 50 and the investment time horizon is just not long enough for you to, you know, earn anything meaningful before retirement? You know, these are some stuff. And we're talking about nursing, private nursing at your leisure. I mean, I know at that time, because I tell you, as you know, the healthcare system, or just health, people are living longer, life expectancy, because of the advancement in medicine and technology, etc. And I know a lot of persons, I know nurse Sharon, most of you should know Sharon Owen. Nurse Owen, anybody on the phone know Nurse Owen? She passed, I think, probably a year or two ago. Nurse Owen, she always said to me, well, at Campion, she was a nurse at Campion, but she worked at the University Hospital. And she said, right, I'm the Caribbean's top nurse. She let us know in the introduction that she is the Caribbean's top nurse. In fact, that's what I call her when I see her. I say, hey, what's up, Caribbean top nurse? And when she was told that she needs to, she have to go on retirement, she was complaining, why is the government sending me off? I feel young and strong. This is a woman who get up every morning, exercising, walking, fit as a fiddle, right? And she was saying that, right, I don't feel like, I'm old. I feel like I can work 10, 15 more years. And I mean, that's what led her to being at Campion after she had to retire to the healthcare system as a nurse. But then she was only able to do about 5 years before the ministry said, listen, you have to go, and then I think she was able to be doing some nursing on the side. So I'm saying that the skills that you have, I mean, when retirement doesn't mean you're dead, right? Or you're immobile and you can't move. There's a lot of work to be done in the field. So how is it that you can monetize that, the skills that you have garnered over so many years? So I want you to all to know that we talk about the income and it look like, oh, am I going to survive? Let me tell you something. You have a skill set that people are going to be crawling for you out of retirement, right? But how is it that you can use that skill set to take care of persons who are much older than you at retirement and you're earning an income right there? So these are some of the stuff you have to think outside the box, when we get to that stage. So I just wanted to add those 2 cents, Javon and
Very,
team.
very, very, very important. Very important. And I appreciate, and I know everyone here in the chat appreciate it. Alia can confirm
Most
that this
definitely.
is very important points made. On the call also we have Bridget, who is a portfolio manager in pensions as well, and Latoya Hilton, who is a revenue solutions manager from Sagicor. So we have our Sagicor team represented on the call here. All right. So guys, I want to thank you again. And I said, feel free. I will send the email as advised by Alia to the entire team as it relates to the JOT form so you can complete it. And if you want to have conversation, you can complete it and we'll direct them accordingly. All right. Alicia, say thank you so much. Informative session. Definitely will be taking heed to what was presented today and going to start my investment plan. You're most welcome, Alicia. All right.
Great. Thank you, Javon and team. On behalf of the Omega Kappa chapter, the membership of the chapter, we would like to say a heartfelt thank you for you and your team for taking time out of your busy schedule to present to us this evening on financial planning for retirement. We do appreciate it. It was very informative, very interactive, and I hope all of us, including myself, take away those little nuggets and those little strategies and bits of recommendations that you have given us this evening and apply them to our lives moving forward gracefully into retirement for those persons who have not done so as yet, who have not retired as yet. But those persons, all of us who haven't retired, should be planning and working towards retirement at this time. So thank you so much for your recommendations, the information that you have given us this evening, and look forward to hearing from me soon.
Thank you.
Others
Thank
who
you very
may
much.
have taken down the link for the application, I think, is some questionnaire.
It's a JOT form.
Yeah,
Yes, a questionnaire.
form. Okay.
Yes.
All
Thank
right.
you.
So thank you
very
so much. We appreciate it. And for everybody else, thank you for joining part 2 of our retirement webinar. Look out for part 3, which should be sometime in September. Once you have filled out the registration form, you will receive those CNE hours as relates to this webinar series. So thank you so much and enjoy the rest of your evening.